I love how now all of a sudden the conversation. Now, when Deion was getting beat last year, everybody was talking about it. I told y'all. Now they win it. Oh, the conference ain't any good. Oh, Utah on their third quarterback. What, 8-2? So is every team that they beat on their third string quarterback?
Right.
Is every team they played isn't any good? Because that seems to be the narrative that y'all want to paint. Y'all to do anything y'all can to try to undermine the man's credibility in what he's been able to do. You're talking about a team that was 2 years ago, they won one game. Last year they won 4 games. And all year was y'all had your pom-poms, you had your skirt up in there, kicking your heels. I thought you were the Rockettes celebrating. Now you're going radio silent. Now you're talking about the only third string quarterback. But had they lost, what would you have said?
Mm-hmm.
I told y'all the Colorado isn't good. I told you Deion can't coach. You made that excuse. Well, Shadour's not any good. He's at Jackson State. He wouldn't be doing that at a Power 5, but that dang it, he's doing it at a Power 5. Oh, Prime can't coach. He's doing it at HBCU. Well, he's doing it at CU. He's doing it at a Power 5. Now the conference isn't any good.
Yeah. Listen,
I've never seen it so that you'll do that people would try to say and do anything they can to try to undermine a man's credibility, his ability to do what he's done with the team. He told y'all, he said, we coming. Give us some time. But y'all want the man. Nick Saban didn't go to the college football playoff. He didn't go to the national championship game his first year.
Yeah.
Y'all gave him grace. Y'all didn't say when he was started winning, oh, the teams ain't any good. So why y'all do that with time?
Well, you know why. And for one, you have to think Prime marches to the beat of his own drum. Prime has his own style of coaching. Prime doesn't follow the script on the way coaches should act and behave in a certain manner. He does it the way, and it works the way he does it. Everything he's done, you have to think about Prime, from whether it's the football field, whether it's playing baseball, whether it's playing football, whether it's coaching, everything he does and touches, it turns to gold and has success coming right behind it.
Yeah. Big JTV, man. Welcome here. Welcome back, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, of course, subscribe, man. Let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. Shout out to Shannon, man. Shout out to Nightcap. Shout out to Shannon. Shout out to Unc for calling it out. And by the way, what is it? I'm talking about the fat bastard himself. I'm talking about, again, you know what I mean, Jason Whitlock being called out, but indirectly being called out. And this is the fact. When you have somebody who is beneath you, right, and without hesitation, Jason Fatlock, the fat bastard, is definitely beneath, you know what I mean, Shannon Sharpe, you don't mention him by name. You have to almost treat him like on some Voldemort, Harry Potter, you know what I mean, he who shall not be named, and not because Jason is powerful, no, because Jason is a troll. Y'all don't want to hear this. Y'all don't think you want to hear this. But again, let me say this again. Jason Whitlock, the fat bastard, is a troll. He's a troll. And you would be wondering, why is a man in his mid-50s who's fat and very ugly and hateful and unchristian-like and failed and been fired from almost all his jobs, a troll? You might be wondering, that makes no sense. Well, it does make sense because he hates himself and he has no other lane to go. See, when the Colorado Buffs beat the Utah Yates, right? One, the best defense in the Big 12 Conference, one of the best defenses in the nation. And it wasn't even close. It was like 49 to like 30 something. But those points that they got in the fourth quarter was when Colorado put their foot off the gas. Just keep it real. Jason Fatlock on his Twitter was quiet than a church mouse. And he's been very quiet for the past 4 weeks because I believe the Colorado Buffs are on a 4-game winning streak. It's about to be 5 when they play Kansas next weekend. And because of that, Jason has been very, very, very silent about his criticisms towards Deion and Coach Prime. Why? Because the Colorado Buffs are now 8-2, really controlling their destiny. It's pretty much them and BYU who are going to be in the Big 12 Championship Bowl game. And they have a very good chance, by the way, to get in the college football playoffs. Why? Because so far they're a top 18 team in the league, right? They're ranked number 18, and after this win after Utah, they'll probably crack the top 15. There's a high likelihood that by the end of the season, they could be top 10. They could be top 10. Why? Because they have such an explosive offense, right? And it's not just because of Travis Hunter. No, they have an explosive offense because Shedeur throws it down the field, and their receiving core is the best group of receivers in the entire nation. Yes, we're talking about Webster. We're talking about Jeffrey Horn Jr. when he's available. We're talking about multiple receivers who can take the top off, no Diddy, you know what I mean, and make plays. And now what they've started to do, the Colorado Buffs, is they've started to put in their run game. You know what I mean? Really push the run game. And they have given Shedeur Sanders, who should be in the Heisman conversation. People don't want to say it, but people have to acknowledge it. He needs to be in the Heisman conversation. Because Shedeur, when he's upright, when he has time in the pocket, he makes this offense go. All right? Travis Hunter had another amazing game with a crazy running play. You know what I mean? And a great deflection interception. This is the third time that he's had a touchdown and an interception in the game. He's locking up this Heisman conversation. Shout out to Ashante Jeffries, I believe that's his name. Ashante Gently, I believe. Either way, I'm messing up his name. It is what it is. The fact remains is stopping Travis Hunter on both sides, meaning as a receiver, there's been very few receivers who beat him, clear cut. A lot of times they don't even throw to him, right? So they don't even test him because they know that there's a high likelihood that ball is going to be intercepted. Or at least you have the best. I personally think he's the best corner in the league. Well, in the nation in college football. As a receiver, he's putting up godly numbers. He's clearly the best receiver on Colorado, and they have a very strong receiving core. Oftentimes, you have the best corner on the other team covering Travis, right, which opens up the offense greatly for everybody else because they're doing man one-on-one matchups. That's what happened with Utah. Utah got exposed because they went out of their way to stop Travis. And guess what happened? Everyone else was open. And here's, again, going back to what Shannon was saying, you know what I mean? Where are the haters, man? I mean, you know what I mean? I want the apologies being as loud as the disrespect. There was a point in time last year, man, where Jason Whitlock would spend the whole week, 5 shows in a row, talking about Deion Sanders and how fraudulent he was as a man, as a coach, as a Christian. 5 shows in a row, man. But the apology will never be as loud as the disrespect. You know what I mean? And these are the type of raccoons that we need to look out for and understand. Because let me tell you something, man. These raccoons are the same reason that, think about it like this. These are the same raccoons that stopped a ton of slave rebellions. These are the type of raccoons who have ruined black people, and they claim that they're doing the right thing. Let me tell you something, man. Can we criticize Coach Prime? Absolutely we can, especially last year, because he was dealing with a very poor team which couldn't defend, which couldn't stop and nosebleed because their O-line was horrible. There was a lot of criticism, and they were one-dimensional. They were only pass first. They weren't really involved in the run game. You know what I mean? Were they valid? Yes, they were. And I will say this. It did feel clout-ish what was happening. A lot of celebrities were coming for the clout, right? But you have to know this. When you actually have time to develop a program and bring in your players and your guys, it takes a little bit of time. You know what I mean? That's why he said, you better get me now before, because this is the weakest we gonna be. That's what Coach Prime said, and he was right. He was absolutely right. Let me tell you something, man. Nick Saban didn't build Alabama in a day. Right now at Alabama, they have Kevin DeBoer. Kevin DeBoer is a fantastic football coach, but guess what? He's having some rough times with Alabama in his first year as head coach. I promise you next year he's going to be way better, and he's going to have Alabama rolling at a higher level. Why? Because he's a good coach. You do not fix everything, especially a broken team, a broken culture like the Colorado Buffs in one season, man. So those 4 wins by Deion were absolutely great for where Buffalo was. And these 8 wins, I'm going to say it right now, they're going to run the table. They're going to beat Kansas, and then they're going to also beat Oklahoma State, and they're going to be a 10-2 season for this fantastic football team. And the fat bastard will have to eat crow. He's used to eating, but he's going to have to eat a humble pie. Get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Big J TV, I'm out.